You love everyone but me. And this is not usually said out loud, but it's felt very, very deeply. So your partner lights up the room. They light up talking about their mission, some mission, humanity's potential, the divine plan. But when you ask for their presence over dinner, they're usually somewhere else. You feel like you're constantly competing with God, source, the divine, with humanity, with the entire universe, and actually losing. Well, this isn't about your partner being bad. This is about the Transcendent Love Gates. Hi there, my name is Joan Nwosu. If this is your first time, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because this year we're talking all things conscious partnership and aligned love. So back to today. Today I want to talk about the Transcendent Love Gates. This is loving through someone to connect to something greater. And there were 4 of these love gates in the love gate system, and that is gate 25, the love of spirit, gate 15, the love of humanity, gate 46, loving the body, and gate 10, loving being alive. So let's get started. Out of the 10 love gates, there are 6 mundane and 4 transcendent. So mundane at the interpersonal, the more of the romantic love. I want to do love with someone. This is more personal. This is I love you, I choose you, I want you. Great. That's the one that most of us are familiar with. But then we have the transcendent love gates. And these, like I said, it's connecting through someone to connect to something greater. So I love through you to connect to the divine, to beyond you. And this is not a flaw. This is design. All 4 of these transcendent love gates live within the G center, which is the identity center in human design. This is all about identity, love, and direction. It is who they are. So the problem now is a mundane partner feels invisible to the transcendent because they're constantly thinking, well, you love everyone, but do you love me? And then the transcendent partner feels trapped. They feel like you're trying to get them to shrink their love because their love is bigger than one person. And this is a core wound when it comes to the transcendent and mundane dynamics. So let's talk a little bit about these 4 gates. Gate 25, this is the love of spirit. So think of this as the priest, the priestess, the universal, unconditional love. I'm loving towards all that exists within the universe. Everyone who meets them automatically feels loved. But the person who's in a personal relationship with them often feels the most alone, the most invisible, because their love isn't specific. It's not about one particular person. It's just flowing through everything equally. So like with everything in human design, we have the shadow and we have the gift frequency. So for gate 25, the shadow frequency is the innocent bypasser. This is the person who says everything is a lesson when your partner is trying to get you to hear them say, I'm hurt, right? These are the people who retreat into, oh, it's divine timing. I'm waiting for divine timing instead of showing up. And also your partner feels like a spiritual project, not a chosen person, where you're constantly trying to get them to be more spiritual or be divine. So I felt this very, very, very strongly. My ex had the gate 25, and it was always this constant, I love everything. And if I love everything, then it means I love you. And now that I look back, I can kind of see it, because for him, it was like loving the trees. It's like loving the ocean. It's beautiful, it's spiritual, but it can be very, very devastating for someone who just needs to feel chosen. That's the shadow. The gift of it, however, is the wise vessel. Like I mentioned, this is all about unconditional love. This is universal love that has now learned how to land, how to be specific, how to be chosen, how to be present. So in their loving all of humanity, and not just floating above it, up there in the skies, but now they can be able to bring that universal love, that unconditional love to someone else, to their partner. And then we have the gate 15. This is the love of humanity. I've also felt this one too because I dated somebody who had the gate 15. And these are the architects. These are the activists. These are the people who see love as policy, love as infrastructure. So they're great at building systems so that compassion can flow through the world, so that there's justice. It's about civil rights, about labor laws. It's about having a fair world for all of us, which is great. But in the shadow of this gate 15, you have the compassionate tyrant. This is the person who is all about, we need to make everything right with the world. We need to care about the refugees. We need to care about the war that's going on. We need to care about this and that. Nothing wrong with that. But then they go ahead and they forget their partner's birthday. They're great when it comes to organizing community meetings, projects. But when it comes to their family and to their intimate relationships, they're just absent all the time. They can love humanity greatly in theory, but when it comes to the individual person, it's pretty messy. They're just not there. So there was a guy, this is a story of a client of mine, and it was Sarah and Mark. Like, Mark was human rights activist. Like, he was right there, just all the time focused, engaged in fighting for other people. But when it came to Sarah, missed dinners, missed birthdays, missed everything. And at the end of the day, the relationship ended, not because Mark was a bad person, but it was just that being in the transcendent space all the time, he wasn't able to bring that home to his relationship with Sarah. The compassionate architect is the gift of this gate. And this is the person who builds all this loving infrastructure for humanity, but they're still able to be present with their partners. They're able to separate their causes and their missions and still show up when it comes to interpersonal relationships. So they're not just serving and serving to depletion, they're serving from overflow while also channeling some of that love to their intimate relationship. And then we have the gate 46. These is the love of the body. These are the people who love serendipity. This is people that really feel deeply within their body. It's all about embodiment, presence, being in the right place at the right time. I love living in this body. I love how it makes me feel alive. I love how I'm able to show up and experience people. Great. In the shadow, they become the serendipity addict. And you might have had this before, where they're constantly chasing something mystical. It has to be written in the stars. They're constantly chasing the next adventure. They're hoping that the universe will create this person where everything is also magical and mystical. In the shadow, this can be very painful for a partner because the serendipity addict is constantly looking for excitement. So stability starts to feel very, very boring. Commitment starts to feel like a death sentence. Their partners feel like they're competing with what's out there because this person is constantly seeking something magical out there. And that's the shadow. But when the gate 46 is in the gift, they become the embodied adventurer. So they're able to bring some of that serendipity into the relationship, not looking for it outside. They're able to now do some of those adventurous things with their partner, not away from them. For them now, commitment feels like expansion. It feels like they now have space to create different experiences within the relationship. They are following their body's wisdom rather than running away from intimacy. They're leaning into it and using that to guide and navigate the relationship, which can be very, very beautiful. And then we have the gate 10. This is the love of being alive. Gate 10 is the only gate that operates both in the transcendent and the mundane. So in the transcendent, the gate 10 is all about loving being alive, loving the fact of their own experience, their own existence. They have joy in just being alive. They're just like, oh my God, they love themselves so, so much. The mundane side of the gate 10 is about learning to love yourself through others loving you first. So they're all about needing external validation. If somebody loves me, then I can love myself. And you can kind of start to see how the shadow can show up in that. So the shadow of the transcendent side of the mundane is they feel so self-complete because they love being alive, they love their mere existence, that people feel unnecessary. People are like, well, I don't think this person needs me because they're so into themselves, they're so into their world. And then the shadow of the mundane side of the gate 10 is this constant need for external validation, looking for somebody to prove that they're worth it. Love me so I can love myself. So that means constantly performing, shape-shifting, adapting, just trying to become whatever it will take that a person needs them to be to love them, so that now they can love themselves. And I've watched this so much because a lot of people do have the gate 10. And for single people, you would hear this idea of, oh, I'm so complete, I don't need anyone. Or for those who are in a relationship, it's this constant trying to get that validation. Do you love me? Do you still love me? Am I enough? Please don't leave me. What do you need me to be? And they're just constantly trying to be anything just to keep the relationship going. But that's all the shadow. The gift of the gate 10 is sovereign self. Be sovereign self. This is self-love that is so solid. It is so confident. It is so authentic that it magnetizes authentic admiration. I've seen people who really, really love themselves, who really, really show up as themselves, and you can't help but just be in awe of them. So in this way, they're loving from their truth. They're not auditioning for love. They're not seeking approval. They are loving from their truth. So if you are with somebody who only has the transcendent love gates, here's what you need to understand. The transcendent love gates are not broken. They're not broken mundane gates. No, they are completely different by design. So if you have the transcendent love gates, especially if you only have the transcendent love gates, you are not wrong for loving the way that you love. You are designed to love through people to connect with something greater. Fantastic. The work for you now becomes the personal side. So the work is now to learn, how am I going to still be in my transcendent, but still be able to land specifically with somebody else? You can love the universe and choose one person in it. You don't have to just stay in the world of just loving the universe and that's enough for everybody. It really doesn't work that way. And if you're somebody who has mundane gates, like I do, I have no transcendent, and you're dating somebody or you're in a relationship with a partner who only has transcendent gates, stop trying to make them love you the way the mundane gates love, because it's completely different. They will never be able to give you what any of the mundane gates are able to give you. They will love you in a different way. They will love something else. It will be more vast. It will be more expansive. So if you let them be who they are and not constantly being this needy person who is like, love me this way, love me, then you can enjoy the gift that they bring to the table. So it's more about being able to specifically say to them the things that you need, because they don't know how to love specifically. If you need them to be at dinner, you tell them, I need you here at dinner, phone off, no other projects, no, it's not time to meditate. It's time for you to just be present with me right now for 1 hour. They can do that, right? But only when you make it that specific and clear. But if you keep ranting about you don't love me, you love the world, and you don't love me, then you're never going to be able to get the best of those who have the transcendent love gates. So I hope that was able to clarify today the difference between the transcendent and the mundane love gates. None is better than the other. They're just different. They just speak in different love languages. And when you understand your love languages and the love languages of your partner, then it becomes easier to navigate the relationships. And that's the whole goal of the love gate system. It is not to say, oh, because I only have mundane, I'm only going to be with people with the mundane gates. No, because now you miss out on the beauty of the transcendent love gates. The starting point is always understand your own love gates, understand your partner's love gates, and then use that as information, as data, to be able to navigate your relationships successfully. So to all my transcendent love gates people, we see you, we love you. Mundane people, we need specificity, so we will communicate when we need you to love us a particular way, but we love you as you are. There is nothing to change. You are not broken. You are perfectly designed for love. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with someone. Share the Love Gates report so that you can start understanding yours, and they can also start understanding their love gates. On another note, my new book, The New Love Languages, is now available for order on Amazon and on my publisher's website. I will be putting the link in the show notes, so you go ahead and order your copy now, because this is going to transform the way that we've been doing love for many, many decades and many, many generations that no longer works in this new era that we're stepping into. Understanding your love gates is the starting point. Until next time, keep watching, and I'll see you soon.